So let me answer that question by saying that all politics is local, right? So I think it's proving to us now that in many ways, given the lack of action in Washington, D.C., because of many reasons, this is really moving on in a state-by-state level. So I'm from California. Governor Brown in California decided to give driver's licenses to undocumented people in the state of California. California is home to 2.5 million undocumented immigrants, the largest of any other state. So Governor Brown reversed his decision from last year and said that that's it. We're going to give undocumented people driver's licenses in the state. I actually got to meet with him a few days after he said that he was going to do this. And he said that he was doing this to send a message to Washington that this needed to happen. But what was really interesting was the conversation kind of turned a little bit to, I also happen to be gay. I came out of the closet in high school, and it took me 12 years to come out of another closet, and I'm totally done with closets. Nothing more to hide. And this idea of people, as far as I'm concerned, people like me are not really coming out. We're just letting you in, right? So letting you in, back to your point about to be an undocumented person in this country, means not having a driver's license. It means tomorrow when I go to Logan Airport to fly to San Francisco to join a hackathon that Mark Zuckerberg is hosting, the only piece of acceptable ID I can show at the airport, I have it with me because I carry it around, is my Filipino passport, which was granted to me by the Philippine embassy when the government took my driver's license after I came out. I got the driver's license not in the most honest way. And so the government took it away, and so the Philippine government said, okay, we'll give you a passport to fly. So the passport doesn't have a visa, it's just literally an ID, right? So tomorrow when I go to Logan and I present this, there's a chance that the TSA person would flip through the ID and recognize that there's no visa, which then means that they can actually call customs and say that, okay, this person is not me. But because I look like this, I don't look like a Jose Antonio Vargas, right? I look like Yao Ming, sort of. And because I don't fit the quote-unquote stereotype, so they're probably just gonna let me go. Right? But this is literally the only, outside of the Time magazine cover and my Bank of America debit card, this is literally the only ID I have. So can you imagine what it's like to exist in a country where you do not have? This is the only reason why I became a journalist. I didn't want to be a writer, I was a horrible writer. The only reason why I thought to be a writer was when I figured out that when you become a journalist, your name is on a paper. There's a Bible. And so I'm like, wait a second, if I'm not supposed to be here because I don't have papers, what if my name is on the paper? So I've written like 800 stories. How can they say I don't exist? But really, that's the truth for the 11 million of us. And I think the fight now has to go. If Washington can't do anything, because our esteemed elected officials cannot seem to find the political will to get, I don't know, something done. If this needs to go state by state, what stops the governor of Massachusetts? What stops the mayor of Boston? What stops all the prestigious universities in this state alone for advocating for in-state tuition for undocumented students? Because we can't all mow your lawns, babysit your kids, and serve you drinks. What stops the governor of this state from following the leadership of California, which has a driver's licenses bill and has something called the Trust Act, meaning that if a cop stops somebody who's undocumented, they don't have to necessarily deport that person, which is what happens too often. Right? So, a lot of this is somewhat preaching to the choir, right? But I gotta tell you, how are you gonna do this here in Boston and in Massachusetts? The fight is moving state by state, at least right now. And we need you to help.